Raidernation YouTube, what is up? Just doing a quick video today. Thought I'd do this solo just to give my quick takes on the topic at hand. The season's about to start in about, 5 weeks. We'll get into the first game of preseason. So I thought I'd just do a quick video today and give you maybe 3 prospects that I think could be surprise candidates to make the roster. The criteria is guys who, they're the fringe players or rookies that aren't expected to necessarily make the roster, but I believe have a real shot to push for a spot. So I'll get into the first guy I want to talk about, and that's Tyrone Johnson. Now, we picked him up at the late end of last season, I believe, and he's been in the league for the last 3 years. So this will be his 4th season. He's been bouncing around. He came in as an undrafted free agent, as a wide receiver / kick returner. We brought him in, I think, for that Chargers game. We may have brought him in the week before that, the last game of the season. And he showed me some things. Like, he showed me he had some decent speed, and his return ability had been pretty good on the kickoff. He caused a fumble on special teams, which we recovered. So that was really good. He seems to be a guy who likes to get involved on special teams. So I think that would be his best chance. He's got speed to burn, 4.36 40-yard dash. So, the kick return position is a position that is kind of in flux. We don't have that bona fide returner. I mean, yes, we do have Hunter Renfrow returning punts, but ideally, I really don't want to see him do that. He does it, and he does it well, but I would rather see him concentrate at our star slot wide receiver rather than risking injury on returning. So I think that's where Tyrone Johnson could push for a spot and where we could see him make the roster. Now, my prospect number 2, the next guy, is a guy who came in as an undrafted free agent. I've spoke about him a little bit on the draft recap video we did, and that is Lester Cotton, the guard out of Oklahoma. He's been bouncing around on and off our roster for the last 3 seasons. This will be his 4th season as well. So this is just another guy who's coming in on his 4th season. So 4 seasons in, you really want to be hitting your straps and kind of, this is where players start to peak. So, he's fairly seasoned by now. As I said, he's been on and off the roster, bouncing around from the practice squad, off the practice squad, onto the main roster as depth. But word on the street from the OTAs is that he's been making some noise and taking some first team snaps. So, maybe this is his time to shine. A guy who's, like I said, he's been on and off our roster, but 4 seasons in, this might be it for Lester Cotton. And it's good to hear that he's starting to make a little bit of noise throughout the OTAs. And I've been hearing about him. I haven't heard much about Parham and the other guys like Munford and that offensive tackle whose people seem to be pretty high on. I can't remember his name, but maybe you know what I'm talking about, the undrafted one. But yeah, Cotton might be able to push for a spot, possibly. I don't know. They might even have him starting. If he can do it, fantastic. But, he's another guy that I think is on our radar as a guy who could push for that, for a spot. Maybe even start. I don't know. And the last guy I want to talk about, and I want you to bear with me, is quarterback from California, undrafted this year, Chase Garbers. Now, before anybody gets started, I don't believe he's going to push for a starting spot. No, of course not. Derek Carr is our starter. It is what it is. Don't need to go that far with it. But in terms of behind him, our backup quarterback room is it's a little shaky to say the least. I mean, we've got Nick Mullins, who lit us up back in 2017 when he was with the 49ers. He's proven to be a reasonable quarterback backup for other teams. He's bounced around the league, and now he's on our roster. Jason Stidham, I can't remember, but the other guy we traded for, who was on the Patriots roster, and now he's on our roster. I think we gave him a 6th rounder for him, for his services. So the backup spot is definitely a competitive spot for any player to come in and try and compete. We'll probably carry 2, at most 3 backup quarterbacks on our roster, and so that would be either 1 or 2 backups. We'll definitely probably keep one as a practice squad guy, so maybe that might be his best shot. But I've watched a little bit of tape on Chase, and I don't know, there's something about him that I like. He seems to be a decent passer in the mid-range. He does have some good pocket presence, I noticed, and he does have some wheels, so he is a mobile quarterback who can run that option as well. His throwing mechanics do need work. He needs to be quicker. He needs to be a little bit sharper and with his technique and decision making. But I mean, we got him as an undrafted free agent, a guy I think that maybe possibly could push for that backup spot. Like I said, it's a spot that's not really the biggest of strength behind Derek Carr. It's a little concerning. So, hopefully it doesn't. We don't have to. We won't need to find out through the season what we have at that backup spot. Hopefully Derek Carr can play throughout the season. Doesn't have any injuries, touch wood. But that is definitely a spot I could see competition, and possibly Chase Garbers is a guy. I know. Shout out to Dirty Raider. He's another guy who's talked about him too. So that's my 3 guys. So. Leave your comments down below on what you think and who you think is a possible guy who could push for another roster for a roster spot. We're coming up to preseason, like I said, in about 5 weeks. So exciting times. Things are starting to shake. It's a little quiet at the moment, but things will shake soon enough. So I'm Afkazi Raider. Leave your comments down below. Like, follow, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side. All right, peace.